Congratulations, man. You've done a massive job with this horse. He just keeps lifting the bar, and he's just lifted it again tonight.
Yeah, no, he's great attitude, and he's a beautiful horse. My dad sort of, Lance had him first, and then my dad had him, and he's just a pleasure to have around the place, and tries very hard, and hard to beat horses like that.
Yeah, he's just started to show even more versatility than what he had. I suppose there was a period there he was a little bit on the soft side, and then we saw him driven with a couple of coal sits, and he got home strong, and he's just got stronger with each bit of racing. And tonight, obviously, the support came for him as well. He was very well backed, and this horse here to sit 3 wide and sit outside Audi Air, who's been racing in terrific form. And you look at those sectionals, 27.7, 27.3. You were niggling at him at about the 350. I thought maybe he's going to feel the pinch, but wow, he just kept digging in.
Yeah, no, he did. He's a bit older than that now, and he's probably had good foundation, leading up to where he's got to this preparation, and it's bearing fruit now. The time that's, like I say, my dad sort of put into him, and very happy for him.
Well done, Matt. A fantastic performance. Lovely to be sitting behind a horse that's been racing in group racing. Come back from Menangle. He's a high-quality horse. Started short price favourite, which always adds a little bit extra pressure to a young man taking the reins. And you handle it beautifully as you have in all your drives. And the horse responded really well for you, and a great win.
Yeah, no, 100%. Thanks, Rob. Just massive thanks to Marg and Jason, Glenn, all the boys at home, Harry, Des, John, Pistol and all them. They thank them to putting, the confidence in me to steer him around, I'm pretty fortunate with Glenn still being suspended, actually, but it feels great to be here. He's obviously a quality animal, and I'm grateful that they put me on.
Yeah, and look, I think it's fair to say when someone puts you on, they've got confidence in you, and that's why they're doing it. They're giving you more opportunities, and hopefully it opens up the door for other outside opportunities. But certainly, as you mentioned, it's a great pleasure and privilege to be able to be given the opportunity. And this horse here, he's proven to be a very nice horse. He's chased home some really good horses in recent times and competed at a very high level. And, hopefully there's a lot more to come for him.
Yeah, definitely there should be, Rob. He's a quality animal. Like, you look at his form, Atomic Red's a free-for-aller, and Let It Ride, well, he speaks for himself now, and, Let It Ride, you can't take anything away from him. We've got a big opinion of Kung Fu and that, and Let It Ride ran him to a half head, so he's a quality animal, so you can't do much more than that, yeah.
Question without notice. Got a question without notice, Dave. Tell me what Shaker Maker, Guaranteed, Shadow Sacks, Poster Boy have all got in common.
They've all run similar time.
They've all won this race. And I know you said to me that the owner hasn't paid up for the Breeders' Crown. Will be making the late payment right at the moment.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one, Rob. But we've got a pretty good. I think he's got a pretty good future. So we'll probably just put him in the paddock and forget about it. I think sometimes you can go to the well one too many times, and I know he seems really good at the moment, and it seems like you probably can't hit the bottom just yet. I think sometimes you give them that 1 or 2 extra starts, and they can. He's just starting to get on one rein a little bit more now, so it might be a good time just to end on a good note. Yeah,
fair enough. Look, he's, as you said, especially with the 2-year-olds, they normally give you those little signs, don't they, when they're about to tell you that I'm starting to feel the effects of a big season. And he's had a great season, hasn't he? I mean, you've looked after him very well, but at the same time, he's got to keep stepping up, and they normally show you some signs, and if he's giving you some indication that he might be ready for a break, you know best.
Yeah, exactly, Rob. When we sort of got him back from the ready to run and tried to get him to the trial sort of thing, he was getting on one rein, and that'll like he is a bit now. And that sort of, he put over the impression that he was getting a little bit tired back then. We put him out, and he's been ever good since, and he's just starting to do it now. But, he's had 9 starts, he's won just over 100,000 and without winning a Group 1, so he's got nothing else more to prove to us.
got pretty keen coming up to the gate. I was sort of watching you as you were scoring up, and you were laying right back in the cart. But once she found the lead, she dropped a bit, and she was as good as gold.
Yeah, that's right, Rob. She tends to do that as soon as you turn around and she sees the mobile gates folded across. She picks up the bit and wants to get running. I sort of never really had an intention to get out of the gate as good as I did, but sort of just went with her a bit early and was able to find the front. And once she found the front, she didn't cop any pressure at all. I thought Greg's was going to give me a little bit of a scare halfway up the straight, but, you know, to her credit, she dug deep and got the job done.
Oh, she put the writing on the wall, didn't she, in the semi-final, and then in the final as well. She backed it up with a terrific performance. And you always worry with 2-year-olds, sometimes they get that little bit of extra run. You don't know whether they're at the end of the game, but she certainly wasn't tonight.
No, that's right. I mean, the team at home have done a terrific job with her. Craig spends a lot of time with her, and Gary obviously done a lot of work with her as a juvenile. He's gone away on holidays, so Adam's been giving Craig a hand. So, you know, it's a real team effort to get this filly to the races tonight and go like she does. So, you know, there's a few people there to thank.
A testament to her ability. She's got plenty of it, and looks like she's come back in great order.
Yeah, Robbie, she has. Yeah, like you said, she last run was really below par, but whether the travelling and that upset her a bit, but she had a good spell after that and come back tied up. So went out for another little break and to the water walker and came back looking a treat. She, as you can see, she's a lovely looking horse. She's big and strong, and yeah, she certainly got a good motor in there, and was a good field to beat like that first up. I know she drew better than most of them, but she still had to endure a little bit of pressure and finished off really strong.
Yeah, she's a magnificent animal, isn't she? She's big, strong, got a good barrel on her, and just watching her walk back, I thought, wow, she really recovered very quickly. I mean, she's having a little deep blow at the moment inside. You can see her just having a bit of a puff inside her stomach, so it indicates that she's going to keep improving from that run.
As she should do. She certainly needs the run a little bit. She doesn't work as hard as she probably should at times. She's not the best track worker sometimes, and the fitness level would improve a lot after that. So, yeah, we're not sure where we're off to next, but I'll have a look and work something out.
She gives you the impression she's a very casual animal. I mean, you've got the hood on her and a few little cups there to keep her fired up a little bit. Is she just a bit on the relaxed side?
She is, yeah. She at home she won't go a yard in front. She, which is good at the races she does, which is lucky because she certainly fights them off when something comes at her. She feels gone, but she actually goes into another gear and fights them off. So when Beresari dropped off at the top of the straight, she sort of backed off with her, and then when I asked her near the line, she actually got going really strong near the line, which was a good sign. So yeah, she's very relaxed. She's always grumpy, and we like her like that.
That was a 10 out of 10 drive tonight, Josh. You went forward and that gap just opened up enough for you to drop on the pegs. And once you got there, you were going to be right in the race because you are a very Dow type horse. He's a very underrated horse enrolled. He's got a few little tricks to his name, but certainly at his best, he's as good as many of these horses going around. And tonight, even though the leader pinched a little bit of a break on the turn, you knew he was going to keep coming, and his last 100 was very strong.
Yeah, no, thanks, Rob. Yeah, no, that's for sure. He's a very underrated horse. He just keeps getting better and better, and was lucky enough to get him beyond the leader, and which probably isn't really his go because he's a bit of a free runner. And like last week, he sat in the breeze and he just got a little bit tired late, but he needed the run that night, and tonight he got the cushy run, and probably helped a little bit that John kicked away straightening because it just got me time to get him wound up, and yeah, he was strong on the line.
He was. He's always been a very talented horse, obviously pacing bred, but he's always showed to have very good ability, and no surprise to see him winning again in town.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. Pace and bred, he still switches into a pace every now and then, so you got to be a little bit careful. And tonight he got a little bit rocky and beyond the leader, so I don't know if it was just because the track was a little bit loose on him or just him, but yeah, no, he dug deep.
she was just too good. She was very good winning last week. I thought she'd lead, and I know you said that you thought there'd be a lot of pressure. I didn't see it that way. I thought the race turned out exactly the way I thought it would, and she just got left alone, and she zipped away, and she just keeps on keeping on. Good win.
It was a good win. I thought she went better than last week tonight. She was much quieter in the warm-up and before the start, and I thought, oh, hope that's not a bad thing. But once she got to the gate, she zipped off the gate probably quicker than last week, and was really keen. And yeah, I was umming and ahhing what to do. They said, just leave it up to you, and with her hand up, we'll hold it. And she felt that good that I thought, we'll hold it. And yeah, she got a good second quarter there, and she just, went really well.
No, I'm glad you held the front, because I thought that's exactly where she'd run her best race. And it's funny, isn't it, when you get to know a horse, and so they can get a little bit on the edgy side, and all of a sudden they're quiet, and you start to think, what's wrong?
Yeah, that's right. It's like, is this normal, or you're just behaving today? So, no, she was just behaving.
She's an underrated mare. Look, I know the Lewis family, I mean, everyone sort of talks her down a little bit, but her record says she's had eight wins from 20 starts and 7 placings. It's a good record.
Oh, that's for sure. You can't do much more than that. Certainly, she's, like before I drove her last week, I couldn't believe she wasn't so nearly favourite last week, and on her form in the sires. So she ran behind some really nice horses there and wasn't beaten that fast. So, again today she was big odds from the same draw. So like you said, they got it wrong.
Nice race to win, $30,000 race.
Yeah, that's for sure. They're nice heats and finals these, and she's sort of up in class now after winning them, but she's won a nice bit of money doing it. So hopefully she can keep going for the connections and win a few more.
How did your mare pull up our Golden Goddess? All good?
I think so. I haven't actually seen much of her since the race. I've been running around, but dropped in there before, and she looked like she'd settled well, and was really pleased.
We'll start off firstly with you personally, Chris. Congratulations throughout the week, breaking Daryl Douglas's record. You've set a new benchmark, which will certainly be almost impossible to stop as this season continues on a personal note. And on behalf of everyone in the industry, well done.
Yeah, thanks very much, Rob. Big thrill to have a record like that. And, like you said, it'll be pretty hard to top. I doubt I'll ever do it again.
Well, then we had Jim Connolly asking you why you waited so long to pull out. Danny said had you pulled out at the 500, you would have won a lot easier too. So you might as well tell everyone else why you didn't pull out at the 500, Chris.
He's not really that sort of horse. He'd probably get to the top of the straight and then think it was all a bit hard. He just likes to have cover for as long as he can, and once he hits the home straight, he really motors. So just thought it was a little bit too early.
Well, Jimmy and Shawnee are both giving you a hug. They said, I'll leave the driving to you, Chris. You got it right. You've got it right throughout the whole year. Great performance by this horse. We know he's a very talented horse, and especially when he gets a run of that nature.
Yeah, that's right. The good speed was on, and he is very lethal when he gets a sit like that. And he was still a fair way off him at the 400, but he just gets to, like I said, that home straight, and once he flattens out, he just knows where that post is.
Well done, Zach. Craig's happy. The black and white Pies beat your Kangaroo, so that probably doesn't make you happy. That's probably the only downer for tonight for you.
Yeah. I haven't followed AFL too closely for the past 15 years, I don't think.
Well, you're only about 15 years of age, Zach, so you've still got... No, they're going all right, the Kangas. They used to be a very good team, and they are coming good. They will come good very soon.
How long?
No, only a few more years. You've got plenty of years ahead of you, mate. Don't you worry about that. But what about this girl? Nice to see her winning. She hasn't had much luck of late. She's a class horse, and it was nice to see you get a nice run into it. You got shuffled back a little bit because a few of them made their runs early, but probably wasn't a bad thing for you. You were able to peel out wide, and we know she's got a terrific sprint, and that's what she did and let down, and you got to beat your good mate Sugars for a second time tonight.
Yeah, that's right. Always makes it that much special when you beat him, but... No, they come a little bit early for me to go at the half, so I sort of had to stay in and drive it for a bit of luck. But, as you said, lucky there was a bit of speed on down the back, and it sort of brought the runners in front back to us a bit that last 400. And, she's probably one of the nicer MOs going around. She really deserved to win one, so I'm just wrapped for connections that she finally won one.
Vincent shoots clear now. Is this a star on the rise? Vincent brains them. Vincent by 15. How big was that, Vincent? That was outstanding.
Heaven rocks tight and better. It's an all-stars show in the Auckland Cup, and Vincent too good.